wheat toast, almond butter, and jam. You guys been there? If not, you've got to go.
But last night, I did all of this. I filled in all the space. Doesn't look like we made a lot of progress, but like all this stuff was a lot of work. Packing them in, putting the tape on. And I used up an entire 4x8 sheet. So I did all of this except for this little space right here. And I did all of this, and this is all pretty well packed in here. And then obviously we have some bigger pieces that we put down there yesterday here. So I think we're going to continue insulating all the upper panels. There isn't that many. It's that space right there.
Okay.
This, and then the spaces on the doors, the 3 doors, the sliding one and the 2 back doors. And then all the upper panels will be done. And then we'll do the lower panels. Once all the lower panels are done, we may end up using up the whole other sheet just for that.
Okay.
Because there's all that there.
But we also have the other kind.
The polyiso.
Yeah, so to figure out. Maybe that's for the windows since it's not as deep.
Yeah, that could be for the windows. It could also be for the ceiling.
Oh, right. Okay.
We'll probably need more for the ceiling because these are much bigger spaces that doesn't need to be cut and squeezed a little. I think that 1-inch polyiso is not as flexible because it's laminated with foil on both sides.
I wonder if you can like score one side, but maybe it's still not.
Yeah, you can cut it the same way. I just don't think it's gonna, like, these bend a little bit. I was just trying to, like, when I try to push them into these smaller recesses, they bend a little bit more.
Okay.
So these are better for here, but the polyiso will be good for these big spaces. And also, I think we'll get more if we're gonna insulate the floor. Remember how we're gonna put down some foam and then plywood?
Oh.
For everything that's gonna have stuff built on top of it.
Right.
So we can get some more of that polyiso, put on the floor, and then we put the birch
that might be too
plywood
thick
on
though.
It'll probably add a total of an inch.
Plus plywood. So how much is plywood?
Or maybe we'll get like 1/4 or 1/2 inch polyiso if we can find that. Maybe go to Lowe's.
Yeah, maybe Lowe's.
Because then we'll add a total of just 1 inch.
Yeah. I don't want to go more than that. I just don't want to
take up too much headroom.
Yeah.
But also the bigger, the thicker plywood we get, the longer screws we can get to kind of screw things down. But that may not be necessary. Okay. So we'll get to insulating. We won't bore you with the details because we went through this yesterday, how we're doing the insulation. We're just gonna do more of that this morning, and then when we get to the next step, I'll show you guys some more. Is this some kind of sponsored awning that somebody gave us?
You know what?
It's pretty sweet. We should carry those with us.
This is sponsored by Kettle Chips.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought we were sponsored by those other people, those other chip people instead. Or is that just us paying for our own chips? We're at a good stopping point for a lunch break, but I want to give you guys a quick look at what we've accomplished so far. So all of these upper sections have been insulated all the way to the front. And then on this side as well, all of these all the way to the back. And then down below, we got pretty much all the panels covered with some spaces in here. This is not filled, this is not filled, but we filled some of them. We filled this one. This is not filled. This is partially filled. And all these 3 over there, not here. So we got to get more material. We went through 2 4x8 sheets of this 1-inch EPS foam. Over a 1/2 sheet of the 1/2 inch, which we used up there, and we still have probably a piece of 3x4 maybe 3x3.5. So what we've done is just stuffed them in there, and where there's a seam, we use foil tape to connect them back together so they stay in place better. And there's a huge difference. Like if I touch, the sun is right overhead right now. Like this is relatively cool to the touch, and this is almost so hot that you can't touch it right here. That's really hot. Not hot at all. Really hot right there. Not hot at all. So yeah, we're gonna get some more sheets and stuff them all in. We're gonna use this gaps and cracks spray foam stuff to fill in all the little spaces. That'll help also kind of wedge them into place. And then we'll trim them off, fill the spaces in here, and get here. We'll just have big sheets of foam. We're gonna have to glue those on here and there, and then the ceiling. And once we get to that point, we're pretty much done insulating. And we're gonna lay Reflectix on top of all of it on the inside. Then we should be really well insulated in here. At that point, we'll be able to put the headliner back in. Right now, we're thinking we may not reuse the bottom paneling, but I'll reuse the fasteners. The rationale behind that is if we're gonna have to cut pieces for this upper part here, we may as well take whole pieces and just kind of fasten them to this entire thing, because by having separate pieces, it's gonna be hard to clean. Things can kind of fall through the cracks and stuff. So that was Marlene's suggestion. I think it's a pretty good one. So where we're gonna run into a stopping point is we don't have our second fan, which is on its way, and we don't have the windows we're gonna put in the back, which is also on its way. So we gotta decide if we're gonna insulate and put the panels in first, and then we'll worry about the second fan and the windows later. So those are considerations we got to think about. But for now, we're just going to clean up a little bit. We're going to drive this to lunch and drive to Home Depot, get some more foam, start back up in the afternoon. Well, one of the reasons why I wanted to clean this van up and drive it to lunch is because I was worried about that. I was worried that I was going to kill the battery from these last 3 days of playing the music, running the lights last night. And I did. I killed the battery. So I'm going to have to charge this up. I've got a battery charger here, so plug that in for a little bit. See if I can get this van started. Okay, on a Sprinter, the auxiliary battery would have gone here, but the main battery is actually under the driver's seat. So to jump it, that's the ground, and this is the positive. Now we're charging. I actually have this. I got the battery on the 10 amp charger, but that may take a while to charge up. I do have this thing that I bought 2 years ago now. I use it for lots of different things. I use it to run my 12-volt water pump when I fill the water tank in the casita. This is also a jumper. It's a lithium jump starter. So, how's the charge on this? Oh, it's charged. Well, I'm going to try starting it. And if it doesn't start, I'm going to use that jumper. See if it starts. If not, I'll use my jump starter. Ready? Nope. Sits kind of precariously. Ready? There we go. Got her going. Old trusty jump starter. Works every time. Hi, Ava. We got a new piece of 1.5 inch EPS foam. We already put 2 pieces like this all through the van. We're going to do more. We're actually going to do this piece, I think, on the ceiling because this is lighter than the polyiso that we have. So because it's going to be hanging, we're going to use glue to glue that down. I think it'd be better if we use this. And we also got different glue today. I got this Gorilla heavy duty construction adhesive. This is about double the price of the other Loctite. I got this just as a comparison, I suppose, mainly because I wasn't too impressed with the way that the Loctite foam board adhesive was coming out of the tube. And didn't feel like that it was drying and gluing it to metal as easily. And if you look at the back of that tube, it didn't say that it was suitable for metal, where this does. So this works on both foam and metal. So it should be good for gluing to this as long as we clean it real good with soap and water and then dry it out. We should be able to glue this sucker up there. So we've got our four-wheel camper F-250 truck still here. It's actually been sold. Our friends who bought it are not going to come pick it up until Friday, so we have 3 more days to take care of her in our possession. There's a few things we need to do to her still. Namely, we've got to give it a real good clean out, wash down, so they can take away a clean vehicle. We did it before we listed it a week or 2 ago, but you know, it just gets dirty when it just sits there. There's also some more little track rail things that are in the Yakima tracks. I'm going to take out all the extra ones that I put in, and there's some extra towers that I put in there also. I'm going to take those out, and I'm going to try to see if they fit in the Vantech tracks on the roof of the Sprinter, because if they do, then I'll just be able to use Yakima tracks. Otherwise, I'll have to buy specific tracks that are made for the Vantech. So we'll see how that goes. Ow, hot. Ow, the roof of the van is so hot. These Yakima parts, these are the little feet that slide in to the Yakima tracks. It's got this little plate on the bottom. The good news is these plates will fit right in to these Vantech tracks. Perfect fit, as a matter of fact. Just trying not to burn myself on the hot surface of the van right now. I can't believe how hot it is still today. It's supposed to be cooler, but it doesn't feel that way. All right, look at that, slides right in. That can go up.
Are you guys gonna make this into like a motorhome?
Yeah.
I guess that's you with the pickup truck and the camper shell and the.
Yeah, we sold that.
You sold it. What about the trailer?
We sold the trailer too.
You know what? Can I ask what you sold it for? Well, good luck, Dan. It's nice to meet you, buddy.
All right, see ya. You guys couldn't see that, but that was just the guy in a van, in his work van. Looks like with his wife. Okay, back in here. This sheet of foam, we're gonna start gluing to these open sections up here. And we're gonna leave like a portion of it open where the fans are gonna go. So it's gonna go there. And then from here, probably to here, will be solar panels, most likely, right?
Yeah.
The last fan will go here, the second fan.
Okay.
So we can insulate this one, this one, this one, this one, and then that 401. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this skinny one back here, 6. This is that Gorilla heavy duty construction glue, because we're using polyisofoam here. Not for any particular reason, except we ran out of the EPS foam. But this polyisofoam cuts easier, it shapes easier, but doesn't bend as much, and it's laminated on both sides. So I try to cut as close as I can to the shape, and now I'm just gonna have to stick to that glue. And then I have to trim that off.
More like surfboard foam.
Surfboard makers use all different kinds of foam. So they actually make them out of both kinds. Not polyiso though, I don't think. But for now, let's just foil tape this into place.
Okay.
While we do that. We're gonna call this a day for the inside. We've got all the foam pieces in. All the ones on the top. All the ones on the bottom. This one's gonna get a window, so we won't do that yet. And so is this one. We got all the ceiling panels except for this one. And this one, which is gonna get vents. All of these are EPS foam. They just go up. EPS foam's easier to bend and, you know, fit curves and stuff, but it's messy. Like the bubbles are big, so when you cut them, like you get big bubbles that pop off. Versus this foam, this is polyiso. This foam doesn't bend at all, but it has very tiny bubbles and easy to cut. And it's not, doesn't make a ton of mess, but it fits better in totally flat surfaces. So we ran out of EPS, so we're using polyiso here in this one. And with these polyisos, you need something to prop it up, and I'm using my very expensive Manfrotto tripod. That's all the way to the top, as high as it goes, and I'm using some scrap foam to hold it up in place. Leave this here overnight, and these should dry. And tomorrow we'll come back in here, or maybe later tonight, come back in here and do some spray foam into these crevices. So I can let that dry overnight and see how things look tomorrow. Yeah, these are not the nicest cut shapes, but hopefully spray foam will take care of all that. This is actually from here to here is 50 inches. So because these sheets come in 48 by 96, it's hard to get a 50-inch wide piece, so they're short. They're about an inch short on each side. I could have cut a better corner, but oh well, so be it. Finally got this package. This was supposed to get here yesterday, and Amazon's been doing this thing where they'll say that it's going to deliver, and then twice this has happened in the last few months. One package actually never got delivered. It like disappeared for some reason. So I thought that's what was going to happen to this, but it got here today.
Daddy, how is it disappear?
I don't know. I don't know what happened. I lost it on the truck. I'm going to open this. I believe this is all of our like electrical stuff that we're going to need. So I'll show you guys. Kind of got here just in time.
It probably is.
Oh yeah. This is a rib nut tool.
And this is probably a
gonna need
battery.
that.
This is probably a battery.
This is a fuse block, DC fuse block.
It's also with diffusing it.
It wires up all of our lights.
Oh.
We can put a fuse on it.
Hello.
Okay. I've got 2 of these.
And I think there's another diffuser.
Yeah, these are bus bars. So one for positive, one for negative. So that's how I'm gonna handle that. Bus bars and fuse block. And then
this tiny box. Let's see what's in that. They
what's
really
in
wanted it to be safe.
yeah, I think so. I know what this is. This is a 18 gauge wire. This is the wire.
I thought you were going to say MPD player.
No, this is the wire that's going to wire up all of our lights. I think it'll be enough for our fans too. So I've been needing to get this so we can pre-wire all the things. That way we can close the insulation. We can put the panels back on. So
I'll be back soon.
this came here just in time. And then 2 heavy-duty cutoff switches. So the way I'll use these is one will go in between the fuse panel and the battery, or maybe rather the bus bar and the battery. And then one will go between the solar panel and the charge controller. That way I can shut off the solar if I need to. I can shut off power to all of our things if I need to. And then last item in this box is a Victron Blue Solar. What do they call it? Smart Solar now? Look how it's smart solar. They call this smart solar now. I guess it's because this is what I have, or at least a version of this is what I have in the truck camper and the casita. But a smaller version. They call this smart solar now because before you used to have to buy the Bluetooth module separately. Now they're all included into the same unit. So this one has a built-in Bluetooth module. So it's an MPPT controller. It's a really nice controller. You can view all of your information on your battery and solar and all that stuff through an app. So got that. We got the solar panels already. So
I'm back.
we'll be able to wire all that up tomorrow. How's your ice cream? Alright, well thank you guys for watching. Tomorrow a new day starts. And now we got more parts to be able to finish up.
If you don't subscribe already, please don't unsubscribe or whatever it's called.
That's right, baby. Don't unsubscribe. If you're a subscriber, don't unsubscribe. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Alright. And what do you want them to do? If you have questions about our van, what should they do? Should they ask in the comments?
Yeah.
Okay. And if they like this video, or if they don't like it, they still should give it a thumbs up, right?
No. They could just do it if they want.
Okay. You can give us a thumbs up if you want. But Luca will be really happy. Okay. Bye. See you tomorrow.